For the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. There. Well, with that, I'll call the Damariscotta Select Board to order for April Fools. It's April Fools Day. This really isn't a meeting, right?
That's right.
Oh, yeah. Everybody, motion to adjourn. We are absent Daryl. He is taking his elected officials online course, and Andrea joins us from the big screen over here. So, Andrea. Before we get started, I'll see if the board will entertain a couple of additions. Andy likes to sneak stuff in at the last minute here. So, we do have an on-site catering permit that came in just after a little too late to get it on this printed version, but it's okay with the board. I'm going to add that in there. And then there's also for 5 under official action items, and then on for Roman numeral 6, we have a consideration of a planning board member. Yep. Okay, so that's all I know of that, but that's if that's good with everybody. Head nod, thumbs up. Okay, we'll try not to add too much on there for you. So, all right. With that, I suppose we can get ready to get started. Here's the minutes. I hear this is some discussion on the minutes.
Subject to
I'm going to leave this
making a very egregious error. And her correction, I will approve the minutes of March 18th.
All right. Do we have a second?
No.
Oh,
I did, please. I'm just taking my notes here.
okay.
So page 5.
So what I'll do is Tom's got a motion.
All right.
And then we can either, you have a correction?
I do.
Okay.
I'll withdraw the motion subject to the correction.
Okay, so there's no second, so motion dies. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's sort of in the center paragraph. We're talking about property tax. It says property tax furnace credit. There really is no such thing as a furnace credit. It's a property tax fairness credit.
Fairness?
Fairness.
Oh,
I misheard you.
Yeah, and maybe it's just enhanced property tax fairness credit is also being considered by the legislature. So that's
okay.
what that is. So
I misheard you, honestly, I didn't.
The furnace
know
credit
what I
sounds
heard.
pretty good. Yeah.
yeah,
So
Gotcha.
property tax fairness credit is being considered?
also being considered by the legislature. So okay.
Enough. That it, Ann?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, subject to those changes, I make a motion to approve the minutes of March 18th.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Dan seconds. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Okay, Andrea as well, yeah, good there, all right. We all had a chance to look at the warrants. Any questions where we move along? Anybody good? We have payroll warrant number 43, I'll move payroll warrant 43. Just need a second.
I'll second that.
Dan's gonna second, thank you, Dan. Okay, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Okay, and I'll move accounts payable number 44.
Second.
All right, thank you, Tom. Any discussion? Good, all those in favor?
That's good.
Okay, all right, Andrew as well, yeah. Andrew, are you abstaining, are you?
Yes.
She hasn't.
Yes.
I didn't
Yeah.
look at them. I,
Clarify, you're abstaining on those, yeah, I just want to clarify, so.
Yeah.
I assume, but I just want to make sure.
okay.
All righty, we have citizens comment, anything come in for the last minute for citizens comments? We're open up on the floor.
John, you wanna share dropped off a pager?
Yeah.
Came in, it's not a good time for you to.
Yeah.
About that.
My brother James Gallagher made up a rational. Should I buy or should I rent? I would urge each of you members, and I hope that you'll be allowed to get one here, one of these as well.
We'll get a copy to Andrea, so this is an addition, Andrea.
We are looking for the municipal service. And I think if each of you read that, it makes a lot of sense. And gives you an opportunity to think how we're going to afford it as taxpayers. should something disastrous happen. And the plan is, the funds just aren't there. So, please look it over, appreciate you doing that.
We will, John, thank you. Yeah, and Jim put this together, yeah. Thought it had Jim written all over it. Yeah, thank you. I think we've gone through it, but a little more time to read through it, so, great. Okay, thank you. Is anybody else, while we have citizens comments open? Yes, okay. And nothing coming in on the big screen there, so, all right. We should move along. All right, how about some overview, some town managers reports, anything out of the ordinary in there?
Taxes were due today, second half were due today, starting tomorrow, they'll be just putting on that second half payment. No staff have been very busy, taking those in. In light of that, proposing that we close the office from April 2nd to April 30th.
You are not serious. I was trying to keep a straight face, I was waiting for you guys.
I sent him a note, I sent him a note and I said, I think we have a typo. In the town manager.
I was
better.
hoping it was a typo.
Uh,
April Fool.
It was very small, but I just had to do it.
Yeah.
And I thought there was one more too.
Oh, I like the other one better, that was
The one about the oil?
the
roads?
asphalt.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the fuel prices have been declining, and the asphalt pricing's at a 30-year low, so.
Makes sense.
We're gonna pave all the roads this year on July 4th weekend.
This is all April Fools, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So I had
So I had it
suggested,
marked up like crazy.
I had reached out and suggested that while the staff is on sabbatical, they could be assigned to the Public Works Department. And they get all that paving done.
Right.
With the extra crew on board, so.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's.
The rest of it, wasn't, it was all real. We have
It
some,
was a test to see. If you read it.
yes.
Jeez, I got it flagged like
Some
crazy.
website training scheduled. We've had just a few new people come on since we did it last. There's some just things that now that we've been into it for a year, it'd be good to ask, how do we do this? We were struggling with that. And so we're doing this the best way. So we're gonna take a morning in mid-April and have that opportunity again. Ordinance updates, the law, we're kind of waiting, the legislature's still in session for 2 more weeks. And last year they passed and was enacted LD 1829, which has some pretty substantial changes to how towns must allow housing development. It was to try and correct what was LD 2003 from a few years ago, where they had done the ability to do ADUs by right. But it didn't catch up with, for example, by right, you can have up to 4 ADUs on some parcels. Well, that triggers subdivision review, so it still adds some of that bureaucracy and red tape, and it still slows the process down if you're doing that. So they tried to kind of correct all of those other places in which the housing piece needed to be touched. And in doing so, probably the biggest impact for us was whether a parcel for developments in or not in a growth area, if it has access to water, public water or sewer, or a centralized sewer system or something comparable, just plain as that. They'd be able to develop at a rate of 1 unit per 5,000 square feet of land. And so that's a pretty substantial change when you look at our rural district. And it, it's kind of town planning be damned in some way. By saying it can happen outside that growth area at that same density. And so they were trying to address that in 2173. It's gone through 5 work sessions. It came out of the last one, ought to pass as amended. As of this afternoon, there still is no printed amendment to read. So we don't know out of that last work session, how was it further modified? And I guess the question is whether or not they're able to get to it before the 15th. Maybe I assume they're waiting for budget stuff to be able to get agreed upon before they come back and deal with the rest, but. So we're kind of waiting to see what those amendments are, what those changes might require us to do and consider. Otherwise, what's in the law from last year's what's currently there, so one of the proposals that was in there was to change it from 5,000 to 10,000. Still a big change for us.
Yeah.
But in the rural section, so, stay tuned on that. We did get a grant to help us do some of those ordinance updates over the next year. And so we'll be coming up with a plan to kind of tackle that. And proceed, over the next year with the idea of going for town meeting approval in June next year, if not sooner. It's by July 1 of 27 that we have to have our ordinances updated.
Yeah, gotcha.
PD, the planning to do a fraud and scam prevention event at the library, tomorrow. With partnership with Coastal Maine Regional Broadband. They're gonna do the same thing the next day at, Schooner Cove. For the community over there. The chief did, today they pushed out a quarterly kind of update of some stats, to kind of show what the department's been up to the last quarter. It's just a small piece and kind of for the public to see. I encouraged him to do a little bit more detailed one for the sake of the select board when it's ready to present a report for the select board.
Great.
And so just to try and get back out and be more, with the community, be able to share what they're up to and that, and one of the other posts they put up.
Great to get caught up.
Late last week, I think it was that they reestablished their foot patrols for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
And that was what seemed pretty well received by folks online. So that was nice to see.
Well, and folks, yeah, they're
Is that-
very, very visible, so.
Is that why I've seen sheriff's cars parked, one at on Business Route 1 and another one at the Shop Station the last couple of days?
No, this is just our police department.
Yeah, but the sheriffs have been parked there.
Yeah, I don't know, but the foot patrols have been, noticed, yeah. It's good, yeah, so.
Public Works floats were launched, Monday. So those are available for use. The bathrooms were opened up today. Start that cleaning.
We had some help on the floats.
We did get some help. The new harbor master was able to come and help the guys, and that was great. So yeah, we have to take that up presumably at some point here. But Whitney Lee is was appointed by Newcastle as the harbor master. Eric had given his notice that he wouldn't be able to do it this year. Bernie Delisle still the deputy harbor master. So yeah, those are in, ready to go. I didn't go down to see how many boats were tied up to it yet, if any, but usually it doesn't, they start to filter in pretty quick now.
Seen folks down there swimming.
What?
Yeah, they were swimming yesterday. No, and there were some ladies in the water today when I left, and they're just wading in, but yeah, already been in the water.
Great. Any questions on any of the grants I've listed there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
the ones under the CDS, it seems like the dates were passed.
Oh, they have.
yeah, so
That's been submitted. Yeah, I didn't do that one. Update that one.
Okay.
Been submitted to all three representatives, both senators and Representative Pingree. We'll see what comes of it.
yeah,
For those that hadn't seen it in the past, we did submit a funding request for CDS funding to cover the balance due that'll be due on the fire truck less the deposit we put in. So the community put 500,000 in to hold our space in line to start that 4-year build, or it's 3.5-year build, as they estimated it. So we are trying to find ways to fund that outside of the taxpayer burden, and so we did put that in. It was a $1.3 million request. Included some of the PPE that would need to go on there, new hose that would go on that. It's the idea of when it comes into service, it's got everything it needs to go out for years.
going back to the first one, main adoption infrastructure fund. What can we do, if anything, to avoid losing that 300,000 opportunity?
I don't, we're trying, we're gonna see if we can do it. I mean, the biggest thing is just the time it takes to, we can't guarantee how long it'll take for property owners and mortgage holders to be able to sign off.
That's a long, yeah, it takes a while.
So I mean, there's six properties that, I think 5 or 6 properties that have mortgages. One of them's got 2 interested parties on it, some of them are out of state, and so that makes it a little more
What
complicated.
exactly is the May deadline? Is it like the end of the month or the beginning?
It's
15th?
mid-May.
Mid-May.
Yeah, it opened up,
And so we
the
sent-
opportunity opened up on March 31st, and I believe it's half Friday in mid-May, which would put us at, the 15th. So it's a 6-week turnaround. I think we were hoping to have the RFA out a little bit sooner. We tried for 8 weeks, but that didn't happen. And so to make this grant competitive, especially, they were not able to release any like matrix or ranking. Like I asked to see, you know, what last year's were. They were not able to give us any of that information. But they are prioritizing green infrastructure and nature-based solutions in order for our application to be competitive. So we were trying to look and communicate with the engineers about that as well. And in addition to securing the formalized easement. So we're trying to see if we can make that happen before then, but we're hopeful that this grant will also be available next year. It's been consistent in the past 3 years, an opportunity.
All
So
the people that you need easements from, they're all gonna benefit from this, so they've been contacted?
We're working with the attorney to just pull together we got the footprint of the easements that would be needed. Some of it's permanent, some of it's just construction temporary. So she has that from the engineers. She's starting to draft the documents that we would need to then to send out to the property owners for their signature and the interested mortgage holders. Or any lien holders, actually. We're gonna add 3 more properties and try and take that while we're doing this effort, to get the easements, take it right to Main Street. We were gonna stop at the parking lot where the inlet was there, but it's only 2 more parcels at that point, so. Just package it all up as one, and get all the easements. We're not planning to do anything from that back end of the parking lot all the way to Main Street, but.
Yeah.
At least we'll.
Would it be beneficial to just send out a letter of information to the property owner saying that we're working on this? Is a possibility that we'd be approaching you for requests for XYZ, just to give them a heads up?
Yeah, we're close to sending out the letter,
Okay.
so we're just gonna follow that process we committed to and include the.
Yeah, it's just a slow moving process, trying to contact everybody, get them back and for, in a short period of time. Yeah,
Right.
so what, 6 week, they give you a 6 week turnaround? Yeah, that's tight for. You know, more than one property might be trying to get a hold of
Well,
everybody.
we were kind of hoping that, you know, it was possible that maybe at notice of award, they could check back and say, did you get the easements in place? Cause that would give us another few months.
Right, yeah,
They said, no, you have to have it in place at the time of submission.
Yeah.
So
yeah, kind of a.
we're gonna
they
attempt
want
to get there.
Kind of a shovel ready, you know, type of thing. Okay.
Do you have a, and maybe this is for you, and do you know the date of the Sebago Techniques meeting with the public?
yeah, so we actually were able to just formalize that this morning, which
Oh.
is why it has not been in your packets yet. So we are aiming for the evening of May 7th. And so timing is TBD. We're gonna hope to hold that meeting at VSB to account for, you know, hopefully a good crowd of folks. And so I'm gonna try and hold, you know, 4-hour period or something in their gymnasium, and we can pick and choose. They're aiming for about an 1.5-hour meeting. So
Okay.
if I had to suspect, I would guess like a 5:30 to 7 p.m., but it's gonna be the evening of May 7th.
Okay, great, thank you.
Anything else jump out, folks, on Andrew's report? Any questions while we get him in the hot seat?
No, because there's more stuff from the back, yeah, so related to the housing stuff, which is,
You got it, man,
Yeah.
yeah, all right.
okay.
Okay. All good there, we will move along, folks, and do official action items, so. First thing we have here is the interlocal.
I see the heading on that memo wrong, I'm sorry.
Yeah, what's that?
So I see the heading on the memo is wrong, I apologize.
Oh, on the,
For the interlocals, still says budget committee at the top. But for the interlocal.
on the.
Oh.
Yeah, on this thing, this memo, I didn't even see that up there, no problem. Yeah. Yeah. All right, yes, yeah.
So the town meeting a few weeks ago authorized the select board to execute and sign those documents for the amendments that were presented. Just calling for the board to take that
Yeah.
action unless there were other questions.
Do you know?
You have a copy for signature? Somewhere?
Yes.
We do, John, yeah.
So, has there been a
Yeah.
meeting since then? Of the
No.
CLC, okay, so we're just approving. what was
Well,
that?
we've
Okay.
already looked at this thing twice.
Yeah, I know, I just didn't know if there was a,
No.
If you had Amber's meeting, yeah.
Anyhow.
Nothing's changed. I've
Okay.
read it again for the 14th time.
well, then I'll make a motion then to move to approve the amendments to the CLC ambulance interlocal agreement as presented.
Second.
All right, thank you, Ellen. Get a motion in a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Okay, Andrew as well? Yep. All right. Well, good, hopefully that'll get them into their main prayers and get where they need to be,
And I like to keep the assessment value basis the same, at least for another.
For now.
That's good.
Yep, separate issue, no.
Yeah,
The
but
interlocal is the
still,
easy
it's there.
one. It's there right now.
So,
Yeah, yeah, that's the easy one,
Yeah.
so. All right, next we have the first responder housing RFP review. Right. Use a little briefing on that, Andy.
Yeah, I didn't include, I had a link in there to the spreadsheet we put together for the review we had.
Oh, I didn't see the link come up, okay.
Eight companies respond to the now assessment for the first responder housing.
Yeah.
This is the partnership with us in Newcastle. We're gonna look at two parcels, technically three. Newcastle's got the fire station. There's technically another parcel beside it, on the other side of that road. So that's gonna be looked at as one.
Yeah.
And then we'll look at our fire station as a potential for housing design. So just was shared had shared, I think previously, at the previous meeting, the results on a financial, what those look like,
Yeah.
what those ranges were.
Yeah.
Scored those, we were able to get, three of the four folks we wanted to score and review to do it. Within that, one of the things we were kind of aiming for and hoping for at a minimum was to get through a 30% design, for these. We were a little unsure what the full cost would be, when we put this out, and knowing we had a grant source set of funds, 125,000 to work with.
Yeah.
And so we put our scoring rubric, matrix within the RFP, so folks knew how we were gonna weight our scorings. And then after looking through the materials, folks had questions as they went through, or if they were able to see that link for the summary and look at any of those or not, but would encourage folks to do so, even still. It was great to just kind of see the range of that kind of work that some of them have done and see that. So with that and looking through the scoring and the cost on that, based on what we reviewed, I'd recommend CV and Mahar Engineers. It looks like they'd be able to get us through the 30% on both properties. If we felt at the time, we wanted to proceed to the 90% designs, that would be, I think it was an additional $80,000.
$82,000.
Yeah, okay.
That wouldn't be a 50-50 split. Well, the way we broke it down, it was, they were able to show us, the cost that they put in for each site. And Damariscotta site's a much bigger parcel, for the public works in the back end there, and there's some other challenges there. So that one was a little bit more, if we did that, but I just wait and see until see how it is when we get there. But I think that's something that we could bring up if we're feeling good about the 30%, if we want to give notice to proceed using potentially reserve funds to do that, if that makes sense. So that's down the road, but regardless, making the recommendation that the board, give notice of, allow notice of award to be given to them, and then allow me to execute a contract. Should we find there's other things that weren't clearly identified and that are going to be an issue, we'd step back from that and bring it back to the board, but allowing me to kind of make sure that we're crossing I's, dotting T's the way we need to on that.
And is this one that needs to be approved by both towns?
No, we're the receiving town. Talked with, again, both our fire chiefs were able to review it. Kevin's currently on vacation. I haven't tried to bother him about it this week,
Yeah.
but initially he's seen some of these companies work. He didn't have any major issues when it first came back to us.
Okay.
But yeah, this will be administered through us.
Okay.
And then there'll be, through that process, there'll be public meetings with the boards for them to share some of what they're working on, the progress they're making at some point. And so, yeah, we'll be interesting. I don't think we've done anything quite like this. If we had, it's been quite a while, but should be an interesting process for us to work through.
Good enough.
Yeah, no, I mean, certainly it's right in the wheelhouse of housing in
Yeah.
in sort of a unique space. So it's good.
And it's within the grant and everything, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think what's interesting, if we do find ourselves wanting and can get to the 90%, before the next year's CVS rounds open up, and it looked like, oh, this is really great. Let's
Yeah.
proceed and try and find funding. This type of effort gets us to the point where it's like it's more shovel ready.
Yeah.
Very
We're
done, the
gonna aim
initial
to,
one.
we're gonna aim to put a pump station out there later this year.
Right.
There's some other grant funds we have,
Right, yeah.
and so that just makes it even more ready
Yeah.
on our site
Yeah.
to be able to proceed.
Yeah, and I would think a project like this would be incredibly attractive to folks.
That would be the hope.
Yeah.
But a lot of steps still before deciding that's what we're gonna do, but just, being able to look down the road, things could line up well by having this opportunity to fund this
Yeah.
study.
Well, it does, it makes it look, you're more serious about it and when you get those next rounds, so, okay. Sounds like a plan. Well, down, Daniel.
No, you're done.
I saw housing, I saw you perk up.
I know,
I wanna take your thunder.
Well, I can.
It's
All
not
right.
too late now, I'm gonna go.
He's not done, he's got another one.
Yeah.
That's right. I'll make you a motion to provide a notice of award to CB and Mahar Engineers and allow the town manager to execute a contract for services as discussed.
All right, I'll second that.
All right, I'll let you second it. So, any other discussion? Yeah. All those in favor? All right, again, use hands up too. We're good there. All right. All right, now we go to workforce housing RFP. Yep. All right, next.
The time I wrote this, I didn't zero in with a recommendation. I also didn't end up able to circle back with Stephen before today, since Friday, but the biggest thing with this one is there were two companies that scored really close. One, a half a point. The difference in price, however, should we want to try and get to the 30%?
Score close to me.
Architects proposed getting us to 30% at 110,000. Whereas CB Mahar engineers were proposing the cost of 52,880. This money's coming from the county ARPA funds.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have 230,000 that was awarded to us. The idea was that we would put money towards, it was gonna be two parcels and we weren't able to get where we needed to on securing an interest in one of them.
Yeah.
These three parcels actually, they're just abutting, are all owned by Coastal Rivers, and they're willing partners to kind of see through what that corner could look like.
Yeah.
Up here at school or at church in Maine.
Yeah.
And so I think, the half a point more with archetype, so you can look through there if you hadn't, just to kind of see where some of the scoring exceeded the other one, but generally, I think it was more in what they presented, the graphics, some of the projects they've done. The idea was to look at workforce housing. That site's a little more unique in that there is a commercial business there, and so it kind of opened up a little bit of like, well, maybe there could be a little bit of both.
Yeah.
And so looking at those companies and kind of what they've submitted, to kind of see what the projects they have worked on. I think those, archetypes, if I remember, had a few more of those kind of mixed use projects that they were showing, which was kind of intriguing.
Yeah. I'm familiar with architects.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I in a previous life, I was on a board. It was the Westbrook Housing, the Development Board, which was the sister agency to the Westbrook Housing Association, Westbrook Housing Authority, and they did a lot of work for them and design and stuff, and so they're very well regarded and they do good work. So, if whatever that's worth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you separate the cost piece just and look at the technical scoring, just need to bring it up because they did have a half a point higher.
Yeah.
On that, and but I think trying to work within the grant funds, this is not an engineer's estimate or a contractor's estimate to put the lift station in at the fire station, but we're assuming about 135,000 for that. If we went in with architects at 110 to get to the 30%, we'd be cutting into that a little bit.
Yeah.
That said, if CB Mahar's 90% cost is 120, we'd also be cutting into it, but you'd get a lot further. The reserve account for the building fund out there has been anticipating the sewer upgrade anyway, so I think that gives us a little more flexibility if we went with that company again on this one.
Yeah, no, there's, yeah.
to be able to potentially get to 90%. Again, our major goal was to get to at least 30.
Yeah.
But I think that was just a little more flexibility to.
Flexibility.
Yeah,
go further.
if you can get that pump station there,
Yeah.
that's a huge step forward.
Mhm.
And that would be good for the fire department too.
They need it anyways.
It needs to happen anyway.
So that would check two big boxes.
Yeah, if it's not that, it'll be a new leach field and
Yeah.
system coming out of the building. And so I think its timing is such that.
Yeah, we had a conversation with sanitary district about the possibility of.
I've talked with Scott. I mean, it'd be a private infrastructure up and on that driveway.
But they would just have to accept it. So.
Yeah, we'd have the ability to work with them to tap into the line that's out at the road. We just need to work through, obviously, and plan and coordinate all of that.
Yeah.
But we're not asking them to build that line in there to be our line,
Right.
so I understand it. Similar, we've got lines down in the parking lot we own now and
Yeah.
a small lift station down there by the
By the bathroom.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, we wanna try and envision, I think we put in here anywhere from 4 to 12 dwelling units essentially. And so we're trying to we just need to model, what that flow is gonna be for that kind of max need in there, if that were all built out fully. And so it's we're planning on doing a design build and it's a pretty straightforward project to put that lift station in terms of a construction. You don't need to go to do a full engineering, but to do a design build and work with a contractor that can then work with us on the fly essentially to do. It's a small enough project, we could do that. The
Yeah,
question
just
then
build
becomes,
small
do we do
cages.
the driveway at the same time?
Yeah,
That's not part of this grant, but.
no, but that's the, consider that, the driveway going everything's
Right.
terrible in there.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll really survive much another winter.
Don't know,
It's pretty hard right now.
yeah. Yeah, it's pretty rough shape, so we'd have to definitely consider that we're gonna go there and dig stuff up, it's time to do it, but.
Right.
Yeah.
So, didn't have it in there, but would, at this point, if we're gonna try and make the most of what we've got for funding, I'd recommend CB Mahar again on.
Oh, they're within a half a point of each other too.
Yeah.
That's,
And we've
Yeah.
worked with them prior to this.
Not that I know of.
No?
Yeah, not that I'm-
Once again, I'm
Yeah.
familiar with this company too.
You are.
Yeah, once again, they're fairly, at least in Greater Maine,
Mhm.
they're.
oh, you worked with, the CB Mar.
I haven't been on a group that's worked with them directly, but they're a company that I'm aware of, so.
I've only heard of them.
Yeah.
I've not worked with them.
Well, it's all one day and now, he's heard
That's
about it.
I don't know if that's worth anything, but it's a.
Well, it's worth $50,000 right now, so
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
So, okay, yeah, that makes sense, and, maybe some continuity too, where they're doing, we ordered the other one and
Mhm.
they're working on two.
Yeah, and
different
if you
projects
can
at the
get
same
that far
time.
ahead in terms of the project
Oh,
here
big
too,
time,
I think
yeah.
it's huge. So,
Yeah.
It financially just makes sense.
It absolutely
Yeah.
does, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I don't have any more questions, I'm just, yeah. You want that one, Dan?
Sure.
You have some?
I'll move to provide a notice of award to CV and Mahar and allow the town manager to execute a contract for services. And that's for the workforce housing design.
Awesome, thank you, Dan. And second,
Second.
Phil's gonna second, okay. Any other discussion? Very good, all those in favor? All right, that's going too, a lot of stuff happening. All right. What do we have next? Cemetery.
Lorraine
Lorraine's here.
able to make contact with all three contractors that submitted bids the second time around. Contract start date's April 15th. That was one of the questions about being able to start right off here in 2 weeks. I'll let her take it from here, in terms of the recommendation of the trustees.
Hi, Lorraine.
Hi,
Hi.
yeah, so, we had the 3 bids and, NJK and J&H was the current contractor and Henry Landscaping. And the committee is unanimously recommending NJK contract.
So the reason, because it's the other one, there's one that's cheaper, what's the reason that separates it?
We thought that, we do think that NJK is, more qualified, more appropriate. And we had a series of questions, what about 8 questions here? And that we asked each contractor afterwards. And for all intents and purposes, all three people had the same answers to the questions. Until we got to the last questions, which is, did they have any questions? And they varied a little bit in their questions, and we just felt that they were the most appropriate. I know that they're not too much more than the cheaper one, but
Yeah, any reason why the incumbent wasn't more competitive?
I'm sorry,
Because the incumbent is J and H, right?
yes,
Yeah, and why, any sense why they weren't more competitive? Because my sense is you think they've done a good job up to this
well,
point.
they've had the contract 2 or 3 times now, at least 7 or 8 years now, and I would say the first 2 times we felt the service was above and beyond.
Yeah.
Pretty extraordinary, actually.
Yeah.
And the last year or two, that quality has fallen off, and I think it's like other employers now, difficulty with staff and employees and stuff, and plus which, they're pretty pricey now.
Right.
Yeah, so, but
So did you address the concerns that you had with J and H's performance with this NJK, and did they step up and say, yeah, we can do that?
yes, the answer is, can you start April 15th? They all said yes. They all had pretty much the same answers to how you manage your schedule, and if there were changes with the weather, how do you adapt? And, this is a type of work that is very weather dependent. Like last August and September, you didn't need to mow pretty much anything. It was just brown dirt out there.
Yeah.
So, but in April, May, June, we get the right weather and the right water and some sunshine, you can mow every day just about.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's a state law about grass with veterans and how tall it can be. So, they have to keep on it. The answer to the question that MJA had for me was, not having worked for the town before, how do we adapt with funerals? What do you do if there's a funeral? I thought that was a good question, frankly.
Oh, interesting, yeah.
Yeah, because, and our procedure is either Dusty Hancock or Mike Hall lets us know that we're gonna be burying somebody on Thursday, and could you not mow on Thursday? Could you maybe come on Tuesday so it looks nice, but not run the mower?
Yes.
When they're trying to.
Do that in the background.
Yeah, and so, and I thought that was a question for somebody that hadn't worked for us before, so it showed some thought process to me.
Lorraine, where are they out of?
Jefferson,
Jefferson, okay, and then did I hear right, is the Henry's is quite a ways away, right?
what is it, Hamden?
But
It's like Bangor, it's like
Right,
just
yeah,
an
it's-
hour and a half.
Yeah,
40, yeah.
yeah.
Andy called me one day and said, hey, I'm just driving past this town, you know how
Yeah.
far away that, I don't even know where it was.
Yeah, I, to me, thinking of just like where you're talking about flexibility, and even one's cheaper, but it would seem that far away, they wouldn't have as much flexibility, like have somebody local anyway, but, it might be tricky to reschedule somebody
Yeah.
coming out of Hamden. Yeah,
Well, he
so,
did say that majority of their work is from Camden down to Booth Bay, so
Yeah,
they're kind of
interesting.
along the coast, but. They did put the bid in before cost of gas went up
Yeah.
incredibly
Yeah.
too, so. Anyway,
but
so,
the committee's happy with NJK, that's what you're
yes,
recommending.
that's what we're recommending.
And it comes in under what we're
And it comes
initially budgeting, and what we were paid last year.
Right, yeah.
Just last question,
Yeah.
did they provide references, and did you check any references?
We know some of the references, and as you know, you're not gonna give a reference to somebody that's gonna say, oh my God, he did a terrible job. They're all gonna say, great. NJK has experience in, cemetery work in Connecticut, but they've been up here since 2019. So. And they have insurance, they have the right equipment, that kind of thing. Everybody does.
Sounds good. Happy with them, yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept NJK's bid for cemetery mowing and authorize the town manager to execute the contract.
Second.
Thank you, Tom. Any other discussion on that? All good? All those in favor? Then, yeah. All right, well, it's good. Yeah, I bet you guys are happy with them.
We'll see.
Get the grass. All right, so we have two more, the two additions here. We do have a qualified catering permit application. Now, Andy, this one doesn't have the licensee legal name on it, right?
Yeah, we'll have to get them fill that out for us
Yeah.
before it gets sent to the state, and it's on them to
We
do.
want
but
to take, I don't think anybody's seen this yet. We'll pass it down.
It's I can't remember Lori.
The spray pit Paulino.
Laura, yeah, Laura, you know,
She's come for us before to host events or cater events on behalf of some of this events at the coastal river or
Oh, is that the
YMCA.
it's at the
Okay.
wire, yeah.
The only reason we did have to put it on now, because I think it's before the next meeting.
Yeah.
No,
that's-
another one that came in, someone different, but that's, I'm still for that one.
I mean, we can.
And this is just a 1 day thing, right? Or one,
So,
yeah,
yeah.
so it's just a
Yeah,
shed.
and we can always move it or approve it upon, it just has to be filled out with the right name on there, not the legal name, but.
And it's related to like a fundraiser for the Y or,
I don't
Or
remember
somebody
reading
else,
what it
right?
was for. I
Yeah.
think it's for the Y.
okay.
So I can't
Yeah,
remember
it's
what
just-
it-
They're doing
Casey Clark
Healthy
signed it.
Kids on April 8th. I think.
Oh, okay.
It's a
Yeah.
why, yeah. And
Well, I'll move that. I
Yeah.
mean, that's fine.
There's any issues with
Yeah,
it, so.
the
yeah.
qualified catering permit for,
I don't, that's what they're also gonna do is like.
for
is it
the
for-
contact,
Is it April 8th? What's the date?
application date.
No, the date for the exam.
I don't know. Oh, here it is, April 8th.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Healthy Kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're doing parking support for that, so.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve the qualified catering permit for this special event at the Y. And you guys can plug in the
Second.
legal name.
Yeah, we got all that, so, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Tom seconded. Any other discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Okay, good, Andrew, yeah, awesome, all right, yeah, excellent. Yeah, that was a particular, there's no legal name, but they can, yeah, can get that filled out. That's
Yeah, no,
that's technicality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's in
Healthy
order.
kids.
It's healthy kids, it's the why, yeah, I've done this stuff before, so, Andy, you have a planning board?
Michael had met with, someone from the community about, getting involved. She'd met with me previously, just generally about getting involved, and I'd mentioned a few committees that had some openings. But Natalie Allen, Westview Road resident, is interested in serving on the planning board.
What is it, what's open on the planning board right now?
There's one, full member seat currently. Dan Day has been stepping in more regularly as an alternate. I think we'd just as soon step back into that role. I
Yeah.
don't know, if anyone's taking out papers, and there's 2 seats up this year.
This is for the planning board. Yeah.
Um,
So is this just?
there's no,
filling in-
sorry, those are appointed by you. I don't, there's 2 that are up this year. We have to find out, before June ends, so for July appointments, sorry, not elected.
Right,
Right.
If
you're
those
gonna
2
appoint-
wanna serve
appoint before
still.
it's only good until.
Yeah.
so this is just a temporary appointment till,
She'll be filling, yeah, whatever that full member seat is, whatever that term
Right,
lasts. I
okay.
can't remember how long.
That's right, vacant, that's right, we appointed a vacancy, yeah, that's a pretty office, like it's elected position, but with a vacancy.
did she say in her, I don't call it an application, but in her comments, does she have a background in planning or real estate? or-
She's a teacher and guidance counselor at the Great Salt Bay. She's a neighbor of mine. She's a very nice person, smart person.
Okay,
I don't know about her other background as far as planning, but I can speak to her character anyway.
Yeah, she's one of those folks that can kind of dives all the way in on things she gets
Oh,
involved
yeah,
in
she's intense.
and, and is.
you have to be pretty
Right.
detail oriented for
Well,
this
that's
sort of
it.
thing.
I mean, there's a lot to understand, and look at with the planning board review stuff. I mean, it's one that
Yeah.
could quickly go sideways for the community if you're not paying attention.
Right, yeah. Okay, and you said, and Michael has talked, whether he's comfortable, this is like a good fit. The appointment, okay. All right,
Right, and she's just filling a seat until,
Mhm.
Yeah, remember that vacancy, that
Yeah.
seat was, it might be this year, but it might be,
Yeah, I don't remember
Yeah.
what the year was on that particular one. I should have put that in and didn't
yeah, okay.
think to look at that before we brought it.
Well, it's at the minimum is still June. That could be longer, okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't have any qualms on that, if it's.
No, I think it's short term and
Talk to
and we'll find out whether she
Yeah.
has an appetite for this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Short
and if
order.
not, we can blame Tom, because he
Yeah,
said,
absolutely.
was down same road, so, okay, it's.
I'll vote for that.
Tom, all right. Oh, all right, and it's, you said Natalie Allen?
Yes.
Is, Allan or Ian?
Ian.
Ian, yeah, okay, all right, well, I'll make a motion to appoint, Natalie Allen,
Second.
to the open. Let me finish my motion.
I was gonna make the motion, but that's all right.
Do you wanna make it?
Oh, yeah, I'll make a motion.
I'll-
Appoint Natalie
I'll-
Allen to the interim position on the planning board.
Tom took over my motions, let him have it. I'll second you now. How's that
All right.
sound? All right, fair enough. Any more discussion? All those in favor? Andrew, aren't you glad you're not here in person, the circus?
Oh, you guys are a barrel of fun.
it's just to fill the remaining term of whatever the vacant seat is.
Yeah,
So
we don't know the date
It
yet.
could be 3 months or so.
Yeah, but there's a
So
current,
any term it is.
yeah, remaining term of the current, full member, yeah. All right, that one. Okay, that's good. Official action item for good there. All right, let's move on to, we have some, budget committee nominations or budget committee
Yeah, these are just for discussion's sake.
discussion items, yeah.
The warrant would be approved next meeting. So there's still some time if there's other interest as well.
Oh, yeah,
We
okay.
do have 4 folks that have already reached out. I sent the email out, I think right before the last budget workshop, meeting they had. And almost everyone that's on here had replied. Not
Okay.
before, but right after at the very least, at the latest, I mean.
So,
I think only one came in after, just after. So just letting you know, there are 4 folks that are interested. We're gonna have, 1 seat with a term ending June of 28. 3 seats, and these are primary voting seats, 3 of them ending June of 29. And 2 alternate seats, which are 1-year
Yeah.
appointments.
okay,
So six names could be nominated, filling various term lengths and roles. So it's great, we have 4 folks, all 4 of them were on this year, 2 of them in an alternate role.
Yeah.
So I think that's great, a couple of them are here tonight.
yeah, they've all expressed interest in remaining, so, okay.
Okay, and so it's possible there could be a couple more people that,
Yeah, of those that were currently on there, or anyone else in the community that has an interest,
Yeah.
if we leave that door open until the 15th at least.
It'd be nice if we could.
so right now we got 4 and we need 6.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is that, yeah, it'd be nice if we can have a full complement of, fill all 6 positions if they could, so, okay.
I think it's slightly confusing certain meetings with the alternates and the full voting members, but it was great to have 11. I don't know the last time they had 11 folks sitting on that.
This has been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's 2 other folks, whose terms appear to be up, but we haven't heard back from them. Is that correct?
Have not, they're aware, have not heard back.
Okay.
All right. Okay. It's good, well, there's there. All right, we've got the damn new, public work discussion.
Yeah, just offering a follow-up. I don't know if there's anything the board wanted to touch base on from that last joint meeting when Dan, you were out of town.
Right.
Any questions you might have had, or if the board's had spent a week to just think about it. Kind of next steps, anything you want from us. Tom, you were getting caught up. Daryl, you've been on it right along.
Yeah, it's really up, hear from the guys and, yeah, I know I didn't make the last one and Daryl's not here, so we only really have 2 here, but, put you guys on the spot with anything.
Well,
It might be too soon to have any thoughts on it,
I
but.
had a discussion a little bit afterwards, and I think that we ought to, lay out for public, a list of all the assumptions underlying all the cost factors, and then maybe worst case, best case, likely case for each one. And then run some models on that to see, how decisions might change depending on what view we take, whether we think it's a likely case or, worst case kind of situation, but it was very difficult to absorb all that in that meeting because you're
That's a
looking at
lot.
the resulting numbers, but you don't know what the assumptions are behind the numbers, okay? So you can't judge whether or not you think those are realistic assumptions. So
Yeah.
it might be just a working session,
There's a lot to unpack there with that.
maybe just a working session, Saturday,
I would like that actually, because I tried to get into the spreadsheet when I was away and I just had my iPad and it just, and
you're supposed to be on vacation.
I had to look at it and it just, and then I just realized that I probably needed, Tom's suggestion of a workshop to go through it. With the, just sort of making sure, understand all of the assumptions underlying it would make sense. And if it makes sense, even if it's just a couple of us to do a workshop, just to just make sure, you sort of get behind the formulas and try to understand the assumptions. So driving it, so.
Yeah, there's a lot to dig through and unpack there, so, yeah, I don't think any of us are expecting, just in a week out. to
Yeah,
have
I mean,
any-
you guys have been very in it,
Yeah, and that's, we've the benefit of some time into it, but there's still a lot to unpack, so, yeah, definitely, but for to take their time and be able to get any questions out and then answered and whatnot, so.
yeah, I think when you get to a public presentation, you begin with what the assumptions are and then you show what the results are. But you don't start with the results and then try to figure out, for people to try to figure out what's behind them.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But as I said in the meeting, it's a lot of work you guys put in and you have all the formulas. Just a matter of using them. You can tweak, you can just put in new factors and blow them right out. So I don't think it's that much work, but maybe I'm wrong.
The Google Sheets.
Okay. And it was, other than me, were all the other board members there from both sides?
I think we missed Andrea, that one.
Yeah, Daryl was there, just Daryl.
Daryl.
I would really suggest that we have some kind of a workshop to really go through it so that we all understand and can be able to present it to people and be 100% behind it.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm hearing from.
Yeah, Andy said he'd
board
bring
members too.
donuts and coffee on a Saturday, and we could work through it.
We were right up at the old time or something.
I
Sure,
think that
sounds-
sounds great.
Yep. No, sounds good. Let's just figure out, how you wanna make that happen, because I really need a walkthrough of the charts and the spreadsheets and stuff and what the assumptions are.
Absolutely.
Just a sense for, you mentioned Saturday,
Of just, hypothetically, I
Okay.
don't care, Sunday, you can do it.
Sunday.
Saturday, Sunday, well, I mean, everybody's busy during the week, so.
well, I mean, it might be, so perhaps a measure of anticipated time frame, like, 2 hours, 3 hours. I mean, what do you set out there as a willingness to sit down for? And then that helps me think like, okay, so the 2-part workshop in terms of like a Wednesday night, 2 times, or is it truly like maybe a Saturday, just let's sit down
I
for
would-
4 hours if we need to work.
6 to 8 hours, you can be able to get through that. no
You
problem.
would, yeah, you could probably do a lot.
I can go 2-3 hours, but I prefer to do it on a Saturday.
Yeah, I'd say a couple hours. I mean, I'm thinking about even the meetings that we've had, they're about a couple hours and you're kind of.
I would think at least 2 hours, if not 3. So, but are we, would it make sense to do it sooner as opposed to later as well?
I say yes.
We'll look at calendars and.
Yeah,
We should calendars, yeah.
if we can.
Well, you weren't at that meeting, but it was decided that we weren't going to make it this year. We were
sorry, yeah.
Okay,
we were
so
heading towards.
thank you.
Yeah.
Bringing-
Thank you. Thank you.
Excuse me, bringing it all together for a November timeframe to then determine whether we're gonna put something in the budget for the following year. So, yeah, we originally was trying to make it for the June vote and that got killed.
Okay,
Mainly because of the reason we just talked about. We need more information, more detail.
absolutely.
So the
Okay.
urgency But what I'm saying, the urgency is not there right now.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, let's put it in context for you.
So I don't have to find time this Saturday.
No, I'd say everybody
Okay.
just calendars, throw something out there and go from there, so.
I mean, I would.
I also think that we need to do it sooner than later because we really need to get the public buy-in, and that's going to be education of the public.
Right. And we have what?
Just giving you a draft of the warrant as the
Yeah.
numbers, from both the select board and the budget committee have come in.
Yeah.
We got the charter, minor revisions there, reflecting how the school system is today. And it passed last year, it just didn't have enough people ultimately voting on it.
Right.
The vote count was too low, but it did pass, so this year should have a much higher vote count, and turnout at the polls, so.
Yeah,
That
should be able to.
that'll at least clean up the language in there to reflect what we actually have in place to now.
Yeah.
Um,
And did any other, because of the provider agencies, this is it then?
That's what came in, look at Leslie real quick, has anything come in that you know of in the last week?
So is the deadline, when's the deadline?
By way of board policy, it was the third, Friday in March.
Yeah, okay.
So that's gone by, if someone brings a valid petition, there is still a short window in which the state law could
Yeah.
follow and, could be considered.
Okay.
They just wouldn't have met the board's policy.
Yeah, because there's some that aren't here that were here last year.
I think two.
Yeah,
Because it was like,
in place of those a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I think it was veggies to table and Mid-Coast Conservancy that were on last year that aren't on this year.
Can I ask when the annual meeting is?
I think, I assumed you were potentially aiming for the Wednesday, the day after the
Yeah, is
the
that
polls.
fall on June 10th? Yeah.
Um.
It's still the-
June 11th. No, June 10th.
Yeah,
Right.
10th.
Mhm.
10th.
Yeah.
10th at the library.
Yeah, Becky did reach out. The library is available if that's a space that the board doesn't want to go to this year on the 10th.
With space for it. Yeah. So. The only thing I mentioned was, Article 16.
Yes, I
Yeah,
did
just
change
put
that already.
the-
Yep.
The headings there, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why there were two charts that had the budget committee select board columns, the headings reversed, the values were.
Oh, I see, yeah.
What's the,
Yeah, the values carried down through, just
Yeah.
switch the.
do we know the capacity at the library? Because last time I was there for that kind of a meeting, it didn't seem like that they had a lot of capacity.
Yeah, that's it's like a 60-person room, I wanna say, or so. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think
It wasn't filled.
we had close to 40 last year.
Yeah, but
There
the
was.
turnout wasn't that good.
It's about what it usually is.
That's
Well,
your,
she's implying it's gonna be bigger, right? Did you just say that?
I mean, it'd be nice to know that'd be our problem, but there's a decent number of seats. If our problem is that there's people standing because we filled all the seats in the library, that's a great problem.
Yeah.
We'll move to a bigger place.
Look, the sense is that when it's at the GSB in one of those large rooms, it looks like there's nobody there. Because, if there's 30 or 40 people in this large space there, with 40 or 30 or 40 people, at least it feels like more of a.
yeah, it's a little bit,
I know.
it's set up a little bit better too, it's, I think it's, I will say it's more intimate, I guess is the wrong word.
Yeah, no,
but
intimate's the right word, yeah.
I think the folks that wanna ask questions, it seems like, you're not
right.
holler away from the back of the room
Yeah.
and try.
I mean, I think if you find that, 100, 150 people want to attend, that'd be great. We would.
That's a good
look at
problem to
set
have.
up a.
Yeah, that'd be a great
or
problem
not
to
set
have.
up at
Yeah.
the theater or,
Yeah, but you're not gonna know that,
the
right?
gym or, I had it, it'd be a surprise to John, but, it was on our radar potentially, the barn up at Along the Way to reach out to them to see if that would be a space that someday could be a venue. It's a bigger space, but,
There,
it's just, it was on our radar. I'm trying to think of other community buildings out there that maybe could house that type of meeting.
yeah.
That's definitely,
To the theater, and if there turns out that there are too many people, just direct them to March next door if they're like on standby.
that's a great idea.
I have them.
That's a really good idea.
Yeah, you'd have to table or pause your meeting there so we could pick everything up and move over, but yeah.
You might have to watch a movie first.
Well, you could have cash bar and catering over there.
That's true.
Anything out on there for articles other than what was noted? Both Daryl and Tom had picked up on the headings there for the budget.
Yeah, so jumping out there.
Um, I do have Amanda reviewing a couple, we gotta, put one in there for the TIF. We haven't had one in there for that.
Okay.
The commitment, process takes that into account, but, there should be something on there. Generally, towns will have something on there that authorizes the board to, be able to expend or to appropriate. So I have her reviewing to see if we need to add something in there
I
because we
gotcha.
do have TIF, fund, with money going to it. The auditors have noted it and it's on the tax commitment form, so it's been taken care of that way.
But
We
we
have to
may-
make sure we're not missing a piece.
Yeah, we may, just for legalese, we may have to have something moved by the legislative body.
The other one. There was one other, oh yeah, so there's, I have her also looking at article, as it's noted on here, the number I know I need to adjust, but article, page 32 of 36, article 33 and 34.
Yeah.
32, 33, 34. We discussed briefly in the budget review process, the payroll liability reserve, instead of raising funds for it to put in that, the possibility of considering allowing the board to transfer any unspent funds that were in the health insurance lines, given that's its largest purpose for us, could just be moved, at the end of the year. You consider carry forwards at the end of the year, usually in August or so.
Yeah.
And so that was the idea with that. If we find ourselves that there were unspent health insurance premiums that were allocated or appropriated for this year, and it will be the case, like Public Works, for example, both of them take the buyout value and we had budgeted for full family coverage. So that alone is gonna be pretty close to the appropriation we put in this year. So that's an article that's new, in how we're asking that to be considered. And then the Article 33, as it's written there, to redefine, there's a parking lot reserve, the parking lot EDA improvement project's done. And it's like, what do you do with the balance of that? And so just to put it out there to restate the purpose and redefine that purpose, and I'm proposing that. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that or not.
Yeah, well, we've talked about that, like, what does that actually mean, the parking lot reserve, or is it the surrounding, I mean, it makes sense, because they're all, it's the parking lot proper, and then there's the ancillary parts of it, and.
Actually, I'm wrong, there's a parking lot reserve and there's a waterfront reserve. The waterfront one, I think, is the one that was just for the EDA project, that one's still a question, but there's a parking lot reserve that I don't really know what its stated purpose was when it was created.
All right.
And so with the EV chargers down there, with the bathroom now
Yeah.
built, and with the need to make sure we're keeping up on all those things, if the reserve that we have on the books
Yeah,
just gets clarified, how
Well,
we can spend the money in it,
it defines it a little bit better, so, I mean, it makes sense, for that infrastructure.
Once we fully close out the EDA project, we'll see what's actually left in the waterfront reserve.
Yeah.
And then can take that one up the next year.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the EV, that's another one that, trying to word that in a way that, if we've netted any profit on that, from the revenues there, that it would go into,
reserve,
it would go into that parking lot reserve if it was if then it was.
We weren't envisioning setting up a separate reserve for replacement of the
You
EV
can do
chargers.
it that way if you want, you could,
I think.
I was thinking that.
Or is it under the parking lot reserve, I guess what he was thinking, your EV chargers fall under that as a general reserve for.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's starting with a balance already, and I just didn't know if it made sense to just kind of pull all those things that are in the back parking lot into one reserve. It's no big deal to have another one, we can modify that other article to remove the
Yeah, no, I mean,
charges from it.
if it's broader, it gives you more flexibility.
Well, that's just it does give you a little
Yeah,
bit.
it's probably more likely that you're gonna use it for that purpose than any other purpose, so I'd say combine them. even
Yeah, and you've created a funding source for it as well.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, there is
Yes.
one, but hopefully it's a
yeah,
one
well,
that can transfer money.
Offset revenue.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, okay. How, have we seen an uptick with the chargers at all? Anything, Emerson, anything big there?
Yeah,
What do you see?
so good, so we are still, we weren't sure when this was gonna make the switch, but we are still in the small service rate. We have not yet moved into the medium service, that's good for us so far, it's cheaper at the moment,
Yeah.
And once we move into that medium service rate, we will not be able to move back down, even if,
Even if you
Um,
reduce the usage.
yes, because we will
Wonderful.
be paying for the potential capacity
Right.
of electricity that will be spent by these chargers.
Yep.
It'll be, the highest possible charge per month. And so even if it is ended up, seasonally next winter, next shoulder season being lower,
Yeah.
we'll be in that medium service rate. So glad to be in SGS so far. We continue to be making money. I think last time we checked in, we were at $1,400 raised. We're now at 2,400 roughly. So that's over 4,000 kilograms of CO2 diverted, which is fantastic. So far, so good.
Yeah.
I think Andy, you were saying that the person, this is just interesting tidbit, that the person who is charging the longest is coming from an hour and a half away.
Thorndike, wherever that is,
Thorndike?
how far that is.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, we're getting folks who presumably are working downtown who are
Working,
charging
sure,
for 4 or 5 hours at a time, but the person who's coming and charging it is incurring the fee. The extension fee is coming from a long ways away. So I'm curious to see how that pattern, if it will continue
Yeah,
in
interesting.
several months. And we reached the 3-month mark on March 15th, so we're
Yeah.
just about over a quarter. But again, we're expecting some major changes to
Well,
happen.
because
Yeah.
you can even feel it, there's more people showing up.
Yeah.
It's starting to ramp up, so
Yeah.
the shift is starting now.
Yeah.
Will have to be, I know, because parking in general is an issue downtown, but the quiet time right now has been, but maybe we can get some information out to folks, like, hey, remind you what those are for.
And we're making a parking map that we're gonna, that'll be, built by the town, distributed hopefully by the chamber. We're gonna send it out to businesses downtown. And that will show the special designation for the EV chargers, have some info about how many is available. So that could hopefully help spread the word. It'd be great eventually, not this summer, potentially next summer, to try and work with the businesses, with the chamber to see if there's some incentive, for folks who park there and visit downtown. But for now, it's just getting the information out there and the awareness out there.
It'll be
Nice.
interesting how summer travel and the number of visitors are gonna be impacted by the higher gas prices.
Yeah, we'll see. Yeah.
Curious,
See how things play out. Yeah.
but it won't impact the EV chargers though, because they don't need to worry about the gas, so. I just throw that out there, as an EV user. Sorry. No.
Electricity rates are going up.
No, we just think we're getting a cut on the transmission thing because of that lawsuit.
Brochure for the.
You think you're gonna get the money back?
No, we're not gonna get it back. Hopefully the rate of increase is lower going forward.
Does anybody have any discussion items to add to the evening? Andrea, I'll call.
How's your knee?
Yeah.
Oh,
the knee?
it's getting better and better every day. I can walk around the house without my cane. I'm still definitely on a cane out of the house. And I'm anticipating going back to teaching next week, so I'll be out and about a lot more.
All right, great. Good for you.
Thank you. So I wanted to ask Andy, what is the status of getting a better speed limit sign on that roundabout?
Well, they let us know back in December that in the coming weeks, back in December, they're putting them in, so.
They did say that.
But it actually came up when we were walking a couple weeks ago, through Main Street with some folks from DOT and the regional, transportation engineer, I think he is. He had mentioned, he's like, I thought they were supposed to put them in just the day before, or the day of. And so I actually haven't gone back. They aren't in yet, I take it.
No.
Okay, so he thought they were going in a couple weeks ago, at that point, so I imagine they're any day now.
Okay,
2
well,
weeks.
actually, I haven't driven for a month, so you're right, they could be in. But
I was there a couple
Yeah,
days
you're right,
ago.
Andrea.
As of a couple days ago, they weren't there.
I was there this afternoon. No.
okay.
So thank you for bringing that up. That's, a lot of folks have asked about that.
My other question is, Andy, didn't we used to put signage on Water Street about weights of trucks? Because our street is a mess. And I didn't see a sign up this year saying that, over weight of truck.
I saw a sign right on the corner as you turn left coming from Main Street before you get to Water Street. It was a little black and white sign about tonnage.
Oh,
I
there
don't remember.
was.
Yeah, I don't remember what it said, but
It has to be just past the parking lot entrance because you got freight, trucks coming in and out of there. But
Oh.
we usually put it kind of at the intersection across street.
Okay.
yeah, that's where I saw it.
You did see one, Tom? I mean, I live here and I didn't see it. Okay, all right.
Maybe it's not there now, but I saw it.
Well, it wasn't hidden by the snowbank. Now the snowbank's gone.
Well, it's good to have you back in the meeting, Andrea. We'll hopefully see you in person here.
Yes, you will. Absolutely. Next week or whenever the next one is, I will be there. Absolutely.
Awesome. Oh, okay. Yeah, anybody else?
I did mention they can get listed in the events or the upcoming meetings, in the report, but we do have some public meetings for the PPI project coming
Oh,
up
yes.
here in
Yep.
April. So that'll be the 9th and the 14th. They're identical meetings. So, just one is necessary. That'll be 4 from 6:30 at, the GSE cafeteria. We've been doing a ton of outreach for it. It'll be on the town website. But we're looking forward to putting those together.
Did you say 4:30?
Yep, 4:30 to 6:30.
4:30, sorry.
9th and the 14th?
Yep, 9th
Great.
and 14th, a Thursday and a Tuesday.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Got it.
I'm sorry, yeah. Signed, all right?
I think so. Yeah.
Andy, there was a handout here. I forgot to
Oh,
take a peek at that.
yeah, I was on the table. The Shellfish Committee met yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
And this was the output that Dr. Leslie, Darling Marine Center had shared from some of the study they were doing the last few years. I know
Been around there.
Committee or the board was interested in kind of the work that's going on and understanding of conflicts in the water and how all of that's working. So it just happened to be they met yesterday and I just ran
Okay.
copies for you.
Yeah.
They do want to come and present
I
to
was
the
just
board.
gonna say, they're always welcome, whenever, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to know what the results of the studies are.
She did the PhD dissertation that Sarah Risley did today. She defended her thesis and that was very interesting and had a lot to do with Damariscotta
Oh,
and
nice.
and with the future of wild oysters and fisheries. So that was very interesting and
Yeah.
I think could make a great presentation to the board and
I would say if you reach out and just at their, they wanna throw a date out and we'll try to accommodate, so.
Yeah.
They wanna come to a meeting sometime, yeah.
FYI, I've been involved in aquaculture for a while and just like to put another plug in for our Rotary group. We just provided $600 for 3 aquaculture apprentices for their
Oh.
schools for Scungus Bay, Glidden Point, and Blackstone Oyster Farms.
Oh, interesting, so Rotary bought the tools.
Yep.
They need some,
It's
yeah.
through the Gulf of Maine Institute, I think
Yeah.
that's the name, but yeah,
Cool.
and they have an intern program.
Yeah.
So we provided some grants for people with
Oh, interesting,
farms
yeah.
in our area.
Yeah, oh, it's good. It's great way to get into something, those internships. Yeah, we love to have him, always been to have him here and bring us up to date, so. Oh, well, I have nothing to add. Oh. How you doing? We're all good, doing good.
Leslie, you have anything to add?
Pardon?
You have anything to add?
Do you have any comments about your T-shirt?
Oh, jeez. I didn't even notice that. Wow, I didn't even.
Show Andy Jimmy shirts. We wear them on all special occasions that have.
I think that's newsworthy right there.
How much
I
did
mean-
those cost us?
Oh,
He's pushing.
Oh, yeah.
You're pushing.
Doesn't take much. It doesn't take much.
Official time we've worn. them.
yeah. There, how I didn't even notice that, so.
I didn't notice
that. Sure. That's
We
right.
love our boss.
Yeah.
It's appreciated, thank you.
Yes, I know.
Oh, absolutely.
I still love my boss. He's
The embarrassing. Yeah. Well, good. Well, if that's it, I guess we should, entertain a motion to adjourn, we should throw that up there. Oh,
Second.
all right, I'll make the motion, and Tom's gonna second. Any discussion? All those in favor? All right, we good, Andrea? That's all of us.